Alex here, back in the shed. As you can see, I have a rain day today, so I've been in here playing around with the pack. So I haven't been thinking straight lately, and I actually forgot to charge my batteries again. And without batteries, I couldn't film this morning. So I got some stuff done off screen. Basically, I refined the mounting plates in here. Last episode, I talked about how I bent one up and I miscalculated on the height. So I rebent it, and I fabricated this little shelf in here and machined this little pocket for the rivet here to fit on here like this. And the main reason for that is I'm trying to get one single rivet in a certain location over here. On the real prop, they changed things and they moved the mounting bracket a little bit. Therefore, they're allowed to put the rivet in the right spot. In GB1, you can see these two rivets. There's also a theory that the power cell lights were attached to the actual shell. That's a theory too at one time, because there's a bracket inside the shell. You can see it here. There's a bracket in there, so there's a theory that the power cell lights were attached to the shell at one time. Therefore, they didn't have a bracket in there because of the L bracket. And if it's true, it makes sense about that single rivet. But there's this one scene on the rooftop. I can see two rivets, so I want to make sure I have both rivets on the pack. By bending up the L bracket like this and adding this little notch, it allows me to let it sit on this mounting bracket here, right in the right location I need to put that rivet. So it will be functional too. It will really hold it down. This here I shrunk up by 1/4 of an inch lengthwise to make more clearance in the cyclotron. I have a big surprise coming shortly this week for this. Sorry, I thought I heard someone coming up the driveway. There is somebody here, isn't there? I can hear them. I just heard the door. Anyway. This morning I fabricated up my charge plate. The charge plate on the prop today, I believe, is upside down. You can see where they originally had rivets. They drilled them out, and then they installed new rivets. And I think it's not upside down, it would be backwards. So on the real prop, this would be the bottom, and the L bracket goes this way. Today, the L bracket goes this way. So you see the rivets sticking up when you look underneath the pack. If I do it this way, the rivets will be hidden, and all you will see is this. So since this looks much cleaner and nicer, I'm going to go this route. And I seriously think that's how it was in GB1, was that way. The Superhero charge plate is distinctly different than the rest of them. The rest of them seem to have another bracket bent and riveted this way over, covering the electronics. I imagine this is to shield the actors or the prop makers when they reach their hands in there on a sharp edge. Because if you look at the prop today, none of this is sanded, it's still sharp. So I imagine those extra plates on the rest of the heroes were added for protection. But Superhero does not have one. Superhero one looks like this. This is upside down the whole time. How embarrassing. I did manage to get to the hardware store this morning, and I got the bolts I needed for the bumper. So I'm going to put the bumper on today. I'm wicked anxious about putting the bumper on. Couple things. Hear me out before we start this video. What the hell is that thudding? Hello? It sounds like somebody's banging on the shed. Anyway, so the bumper. I'm wicked anxious about attaching the bumper. And hear me out before we start this video. So Matt Burkett, you've heard me mention him before. Matt is my go-to guy for Proton pack stuff. Matt is really well respected in the Ghostbusters community. He's been in the archives a couple of times. I would say he's kind of Sony's prop advisor when it comes to Ghostbusters stuff. He's had hands-on experience in the archives on the Superhero, Murray pack, all the packs inside the archives. He's even been all over the Ecto-1. And I don't know if I'm overstepping my bounds, but at one time, before Afterlife, they even talked to him about restoring the Ecto-1A for them. So Matt has been all through the archives. He's got a lot of great reference. He's also built his own personal Superhero, which I've shown before in previous videos. And what I've talked about the most with him is the bumper, because the bumper is on there crooked. So I've been bouncing some ideas off of Matt, and Matt, on his superhero build, he went with a symmetrical bumper because he says it bothers him with it being crooked. Even though in Afterlife, the packs were modeled after the superhero, and they put those bumpers on crooked too, which I thought was wicked cool. But I'm Halifax, and I put fishing line on my V2s. So I think I'm going to have to put this bumper on there crooked. As of right now, my plan is to put this thing on crooked. I got my computer loaded up with all the reference, and I'm going to go over that frame by frame, mock this thing up, and actually drill holes for the bumper. While I was at the hardware store, I also got 832 screws to attach the ladder to the booster. Enough dilly-dallying, enough chit-chatting. Let's actually put this thing on. Of all times for the camera mount to break. It's not pretty, but I'll get the job done today. Alright, here we go. That should work for today. 1, 2, 3, synchronize. The right way. I mean, if I put it on the way it is today, this thing lines up exactly. But if I put it on, if I flip the bumper like it is in GB1, this thing is really, really crooked. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about that. And there's just no pictures of this thing in GB1. Not enough reference. You know, I'm gonna do it. I go like that. All right, that's exactly on my pencil lines. Oh my God, that's crooked. Oh my God, I don't know if I could do that. Oh boy. You know what? Screw it. I'm doing it. what the hell was I thinking? Why do I need bolts this long? Oh my god, I'm cursed with these bolts. I'm gonna fly to the hardware store, see if they have 1-inch long bolts. They had them. I bet you they had them the whole time. The whole freaking time. The curse of those bumper bolts continues. Maybe yeah, buddy. I like that a lot. Okay, let me do some thinking now. Let me do some thinking. Holy shit. It's freaking perfect. So that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Wow is all I can really say. I can't believe how much I got done today. I've been in here all day, and it's really come together. Realistically, there's not too much left to do physically. I have to drill the mouse hole for the hose for the thrower, but I'm not going to do that until the actual hose comes in the mail. I drill small holes for the injector tubes to run down to this box here. I have to 3D print a few things like the holder for the booster knob. I'm actually 3D printing as we speak this e-cig holder, because this is the one I got from Fletcher Industries years ago, probably 2014, before 3D printers were in everybody's house. They made it out of a PVC pipe and some pieces of wood. So I'm really trying to deck out the inside with some nice mounts for the electronics. And I got a little surprise coming. Me and Matt worked together on something in the cyclotron. So when I take the shell off, no disrespect to them, but this is, from a long time ago before 3D printers. I'm going to have this PVC pipe just sticking in there. So I've taken some measurements off this, and I threw it into some CAD, and printing as we speak. Should only be like 10 minutes. I just went into the house to check. It's downpouring rain. I went to the house to check, and I got like 10 minutes left. I really don't feel like going back through the rain to come out here. But it should be done, and I'm going to test fit that tomorrow. I think the bumper looks flawless. I don't have the bolt down the middle of it, so that's why it's sagging a little bit. And believe it or not, all this time and I grabbed the wrong bolts again. But I remember why I grabbed the wrong bolts, because I went for inch bolts, but they only had 3, and I need 4. So next thing up was 1.5 inch. I said I'll just cut them off, not taking into account how much thread is missing at the top of the bolt, and they don't work. Anyway, I'll run there in the morning and grab those 3, see if I can scavenge another one from somewhere else. I have my vintage P-clamp here. I don't know what you call them today, but back in the day we used to call them P-clamps. I dug that out of storage. Just all the little odds and ends are finally coming together. But what I'm most happy about tonight, you can hear that rain. Oh my God, I gotta walk 100 feet to the house in this pouring rain. Damn it. I got to assemble my dream charging plate. I've always wanted this. I actually put the potentiometer down here. Rightfully so. On the real prop there's a hole there, but there's no switch or anything today. I don't know what would be there in 1984, but I decided to utilize that empty hole and put the potentiometer in there. My main objective was getting the potentiometer to sit inside here in the thrower, and I can control it with this knob. But it's a 50 pot, I think they call it 50 pot, or 50K potentiometer, so it's much larger than the 5 I got. And I've been talking back and forth with Doug and Matt, and I need the 50. And the 50 is too big to fit up against the side of the thrower here. It wouldn't sit straight inside there, so there was no way I could use a 50 in there for the knob. So I figured, I'll throw it on the charging plate, and it'll look just as good. But the thrower, now I have dreamt of this since I started this adventure all those years ago. His name was Phil on the GB Fans forum, and Phil retrofitted the vintage bulbs into his thrower. He would then activate it with a switch to blow up the flash bulb just like they did on screen. I don't want to insult anybody, but if you're unaware of what I'm talking about, it's the tip of the thrower. They had a flash bulb that would be on a camera, and they had a little plug inside here. They would plug the flash bulb in, and the actor would hit the button, and it would flash, and that would help them rotoscope the laser. So it was like a targeting device, so they knew when they activated the thrower. Phil actually retrofitted a real vintage flash into his, and he would pop it. You'd actually hear it go, super bright flash, and he'd have to change it every time. He then sacrificed the bulb and put an LED inside there. So I was talking to Doug from Ghost Labs 42. He does the soundboard for these packs, and he hooked me up with a LED and told me how to wire it to simulate the same thing Phil's doing. So the hardest part about that was machining the acrylic holder for the bulb. The pop met comes out with some serious force, and I was afraid of the bulb falling out with a set screw, so I machined it to sit inside that cup. I'll E6000 that sucker in there, and then hold it in there with a screw underneath the bezel here, and hopefully that all holds together. But I have dreamt of this since the beginning. Once I saw Phil do that all those years ago, I said I have to have that in mind. You can actually see it here. So today was a wicked successful day. We made a killer amount of progress. Can I make the deadline? I still don't think I can, but I've never been this close before, so it's pretty damn crazy to see it all come together. And again, I couldn't be here if it wasn't for the handful of friends that helped me along the way with this. You know, special shout out to my friend who hooked me up with the Lineage parts. Special shout out to Doug, Ghost Labs 42, for helping me wire this tip in. And a super shout out to my boy Matt Burkett, who you've heard me talk about him before, who has really held my hand along the way with this. And wicked appreciate all of his advice and guidance. There's nobody else I trust more. I mean, the guy's been in the archives a couple times. This is him right here in the archives. And then this is him right here with the actual superhero. Come on. So Matt, thank you so much for getting me here. I still cannot believe I'm here. You don't understand how much I appreciate it. The next couple of days, I'm going to have to take off because tomorrow I have to work, and then Saturday I'm running out to Connecticut to a prop function, and then Sunday I have a memorial that I have to go to for my friend. She passed away. So the next 3 days are going to be zero progress on this thing. But I made such a big dent in it today. I'm very, very happy. My whole attitude has changed. The last 2 weeks have been really, really negative. And tonight, this is a total 180. Well, I've rambled on enough. I just want to thank everybody who's gotten me here. And seriously, I'll say it again. You don't know how much I appreciate it. If you are new to the channel and you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, it really goes a long way. I want to thank you all for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video. This is Haloax. Out. I know I just signed off, but one quick thing. I know I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I didn't test that 3D print. So I actually have it with me. I just come from the house and it was done. So here's my e-cig chassis. I still have to print a little bridge here to hold the LED. But it came out pretty good. Listen to that rain. So the fan's going to sit in here, and then this hole here is to blow the smoke up and out into the end filter. I didn't test print anything. This is a rather large print, 6.5 hours. So let's see if that was a waste of time or not. So now it's designed, I designed it now to sit inside here. Oh my god. Holy shit, it worked. Wow, it freaking worked. Well, no. I can't say that yet. Let's see if we can put the shell on. So now, if all my measurements are right, this shell should fit right on. Here goes nothing. Oh my god, it worked. Wow. Wow. Zero clearance problems. Wow.